You will hate what I'm about to tell you. However, it could save you months or years if you're an intermediate mountain biker and you're trying to break through the next skill plateau. So listen up. In this video, I'll show you 3 ways you could be sabotaging your hard-earned success on the bike. We're gonna do it step by step, so stay to the end. I'm David Davidson, and I'm a certified PMBI coach. I'm the owner of Mountain Bike Academy. I'm also the VP of Product Development. We're on a mission here to get 10,000 mountain bikers shredding with confidence. Now, there's 40 million mountain bikers right now, and mountain biking is a whole lot harder than we are good at it. So if you're an intermediate rider stuck on the skill plateau, pay attention. I'm gonna show you exactly how to break through right now. I'm making this video because there's a lot of bad advice out there, and sometimes it comes from really well-meaning people, and I'm gonna show you how to separate the good from the bad. Let's dive in. I'm gonna start with a big idea, and then we're going to dive into 3 ways you can sabotage your success in 2024 and what to do instead. Watch to the end and then share it with a friend. The big idea is that you can rapidly progress at any age, but most people mistake a skill plateau for something else. I'll say it again. The biggest problem riders have is they think that they're stuck on a skill such as cornering, drops, gnar shredding, downhill, climbing, manuals, or bunny hops. But the reality and the truth is that they're looking at it all wrong. You go out with your riding buddies, you try harder, you practice, you spend months and months, or years and years even, and eventually you take the embarrassing view that you just aren't good at drops over 3 feet, or you can't clear a gap jump. So if this is you and you're stuck, listen up, because if you try desperately or you just try sending it and hoping or staying at home and avoiding these kinds of trails, all while your $5,000 bike is sitting in the corner smiling at you and you know that you're not as good as your mountain bike is, then listen up. Here we go. Look, I've been there before. I know what it's like. It hurts. Like the time I tried whipping my Specialized Demo 8 over a 10-foot jump and nearly went over the bars, and my buddy who was riding an old RM7, like a 20-year-old bike, he made it look like a little kid jump. It was so easy for him. When was the last time that this happened to you? What was that like for you? And why can some riders figure this out right away when it takes other riders months and years and forever to figure it out? Now, for instance, if you go out to the trail and you keep on crashing in corners, you would think that practicing the corner again and again would be the best thing to do to stop crashing in corners. Listen to me, this is the exact thing that keeps mountain bikers stuck. This is what keeps riders stuck and not progressing. Now, I'm glad I get to share with you this because I'm about to shave potentially months or years of struggle off of your practicing life and do it quickly. So let's dive in. There's 3 categories of problems that you need to know about. And sometimes only an experienced third party or a coach can spot this for you. So pay attention. This may illuminate why you've been stuck for so long. Number 1, the first is the clinic junkie. This is a rider who's either seen good technique from riding friends or from a coach, and they may have even practiced it, but you still feel like every time you try to take it to the trails with features you care about, you just bust and you lose momentum. You don't ride the way that you want to, and it's frustrating. If it's riding over gnar, you get stiff, you just kind of angrily make it through rather than having that blissfully smooth flow riding that we all hope for. If it's a drop, you hang on for dear life as your head smacks down, and even though you've practiced this 100 times on smaller drops, your heart sinks as you realize maybe you're not up for riding with the big boys. And here's the real reason this is happening. Listen, because it's 100% because you have an idea of what to do, but you can't activate the proper muscles in sequence without thinking about it. In other words, you're in your head. You can't activate the proper muscles to do the move you know how to do without thinking about it. And let me stop you right now, because half of you want to practice 3 times harder as soon as I say this. That will only reinforce bad habits that you already have, if you have any. So just practicing will not solve this. Just practicing harder, just practicing better will not solve this. And here's the ugly truth. I hate admitting this, and this is where other channels will not help you with this, because they're going to tell you the position that you need your skeleton to be in. This channel is focused on how to activate the proper muscles. You can copy the right technique using the wrong muscles all day long. So even if you get the right technique and you do it over and over again, if your head is thinking too much, then you will not have, it literally doesn't happen fast enough. Your reaction time isn't fast enough. Certain muscles don't activate quickly if you don't know how to do this automatically. So what you have to do is you have to stop thinking about body positions and start thinking about and start training the body to move optimally, and do it off the bike. It's the safest way to do it. More practice, again, it'll only frustrate you. And I'm not making this up. There are a ton of studies out there about neuroplasticity, about learning, and there are limits to how much you can expose your body to the same repetition and get anything out of it, especially if it's done improperly. Plus, this is all kind of common sense. I mean, think about it. If you practice the habit 90% right and you do it a bunch, you're embedding 10% movement error every single time you repeat that move. So this is why your body is screaming at you that you can't do the drop, that you can't do the jump. Think about it. So this is why you know deep down. It's that stiffness, that fear, and being in your head, it comes from your body knows that it can't do the move. So can you see why it's so critically important to avoid preventable crashes? This is so important as a fundamental. So instead of thinking about practicing more, if you're a clinic junkie, instead focus on getting your body to move automatically the way that it needs to, and do it off the bike. Second, in order to progress rapidly as an intermediate rider and start doing really sick stuff on the bike and impressing your friends, you have to stop putting fitness second. Look, I get it that riding is your exercise, and I get it that you don't have a lot of time. That totally works when you're 23, have zero injuries, and you don't have mortgage brain yet, where you think about your mortgage and you go, oh, I better not send it. So listen to me though. Mountain biking, according to Whistler Bike Park, it's equally as dangerous as football. Equally as dangerous as football. Right now, would you go out onto the field and would you play linebacker? Would you line up against grown men? Would you hit them with 100% intensity? Would you sprint as fast as you could, play after play after play? Haha, yeah, like I hear the nervous chuckles, right? So why would you send your body 30 miles an hour over rocks and roots through the air on a mountain bike and expect things to be just as fine? Again, Whistler Bike Park did a study, equally as dangerous. It's just the types of injuries you get. They're not knees and ankles, they're collarbones and neck, okay? Here's the root issue of why so many riders put their fitness second, is because we associate bravery with going forward on the bike and just sending it. And smart riders, though, the ones who are full stack, the ones that are able to do anything, anytime on the bike, they're progressing faster than 99% of you because they associate bravery with going forward on the bike and doing cool stuff and being fit. Because they understand their fitness is holistic. It's mobility, it's flexibility, it's raw strength, it's functional movement, it's balance, it's coordination, it's all of these things, and you have to draw on all of them in order to be a great mountain biker. I'll be straight up. I'm all for sending it. I actually disagree where, send it culture is bad, Look, if we take the balls off the men and the lady balls off the women and we kind of neuter and spay the experience and dumb it down, that doesn't make it great. That doesn't make it better just because we have caution. No, what we need to do is be great with our fundamentals and our sport, and we're fit, we're capable, because when your body can do anything, you can do anything on a bike. Let me repeat that. When your body can do anything, you can do anything on a bike. Think about it. We want to take that level, make it as good or better than the type of features we want to do that require bravery. In other words, the fitness, the balance, the body ability is what earns us the right to get us up in the air and back down safely once we've already sent it. So sending it gets you in the air, and your fitness and your ability on the bike gets you down safely and gets you landing, or it gets you sending it through whatever feature you're trying to do. That's why smart riders, these full stack riders who can do it all, are out there sending it, and that's why they progress so fast. So if I were you, look, go take action now before the opposite and equal reaction of your face hitting the ground happens. Now on to number 3. Number 3, the third one and the final mistake that riders make when they're trying to develop their skill quickly is neglecting their rest. Let's hammer this one. Your muscles don't get built when you ride or lift weights. They don't get built when you ride or lift weights. They get built when you sleep. Your coordination, your balance, it doesn't get built when you're doing drills. It gets permanently locked in during your rest, during your sleep. Why? Let me explain. First off, if you don't get enough sleep, then all the progress that you make generally goes out the window anyway. However, all the things you do in your short-term memory and in your muscle memory, as it's so called, those things get stored much better and at a higher quality, at a higher bit rate, if you want to think about it that way, when we have high levels of rest and recovery. Part of the reason why is because if we're rested and recovered, more of our brain is open to receiving the signals that we give it during practice. Second, when you're recovered and you're present on the bike, you can recall the things that you practice, your balance, your stability, your fitness, the technique that you practiced. You have better recall of these things and your reaction speed is a whole lot better. There's a ton of studies done as well. I'm not going to call them up here. There's a ton of studies done too on your reaction speed and your rest level. And it's kind of like, think about it. Imagine that time maybe you got in the car when you were a little tired and you tried to drive and you were going 45 miles an hour down the road and something came up and you're just a split second behind it. Imagine trying to do that on the bike. You're exposed. There's no lane to keep you there. It's a trail. There's constantly things happening. So stop neglecting your rest. Start making a plan where you're a rested rider in 2024. Let's make it happen. So these 3 tips, I want you to implement them right now. And if this is resonating with you, if this makes sense to you and you go, you know what, this is something that I need to actually implement, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. Again, we're building a movement where 10,000 mountain bikers are going to shred with confidence. I want you to be a part of it. If it's resonating with you, click that subscribe button right now. Share this with another mountain biking friend. Go implement this and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.